I don't want to stand up here and just yell stuff at you. I want you guys to be able to take actionable things from it. And so the more I know about your businesses and like where you're struggling and what you need to do, like, and how webinars might apply for you guys, the better. So, Brennan.
So Brennan, I've got a small gym in Geelong, mostly helping middle-aged women.
Yep. Weight. Cool. That's your niche. And webinars, like, you thought about doing webinars? Maybe not.
Yeah, did 1 or 2 years back.
Yep. What about seminars?
I don't really know how to do it.
Yeah.
I never really benefited from them.
What about seminars in your gym? Have you done many of them?
Yep. Yeah, done a few seminars.
Do you like them?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I like standing up and having people.
Do you sell from the stage as well?
No, not really. No,
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Mostly when we've done seminars, as much as we've tried to get people from the outside in,
Yep.
generally it just ends up being people that come to the gym.
More from the members, yep.
Yeah, I've
Cool.
never really had success in getting people outside in.
Yeah, fair enough. Cool.
So we try to do it about once every 6 or 8 weeks.
Okay, for the members, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so whether it's webinars or seminars, the principles I'm going to teach is basically how to use a webinar flow to get people to believe what you need them to believe. And so whether that is that you've got a product that you want to sell or a membership that you want to sell, you're trying to manufacture desire for what you've got, right? So you've got something, and we were talking about this, like everyone's got something similar, right? So how do you stand out? Well, you can't stand out by price, because then it's just a race to the bottom. Yeah, so we have to stand out by manufacturing desire for the thing that you've got. And so webinars are a great way to do that. Seminars are a great way to do that. But if you just understand the principles that I'm going to take you through, you can use it in anywhere. Yeah. But the whole idea of a webinar is like you're introducing something that hopefully you want them to buy. And then the whole process of the webinar is manufacturing that desire. So by the end of it, they actually desire the thing you're about to sell them. Yeah. So could be applicable, even with your seminars that you're running for your members. Like maybe you want them to desire to stay on board with you guys for longer, or to come on board another program, like a retreat or something like that. Yeah, so it's the same principles. But yeah, just let me know if you got any questions.
Yeah, I'm Danny. I run a rugby program in Sydney.
Yeah, cool.
We do seminars, but never done a webinar.
Never webinars.
Maybe long in the future.
Yep.
But yeah, seminars. So
Seminars for existing members or to get people on board?
I've only done one, but I'm looking to do more.
Yeah.
Existing.
Did you get any good results from the seminar?
Oh, it was just in-house one.
In-house, okay, cool.
Yeah, and I sort of just wanted to practice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It went alright. That's all I think.
That's right. The boys loved it. Yeah, cool.
I'll put myself on the bed.
Yep.
Yeah. Dan, I have a business to do mostly like online coaching and programming.
Okay, cool.
And some nutrition coaching, whether this was like a combo thing.
Yep.
And then the main niche is broken CrossFitters.
Yes.
And then I have a lot of tactical cops.
Yeah, cool. Cool. It's funny because when Liv asked me to present on webinars, I was putting together the slides for you guys, and then I had this realization that, because yeah, as Trav said, 5-6 years ago, I started with my brother, online personal training company. I'm a physio, my brother was an exercise physiologist, and I realized that we ran webinars to fill our programs, and I completely had forgotten that we used to do that. But I remember how crazy it actually was, because this is like 2012, so 6-7 years ago. Webinars weren't really a thing. Like, definitely the general public didn't know what webinars were. Only like the internet marketers knew what webinars were. And so I remember we were running this funnel, and I tried so hard to find it, but I got banned from Facebook years ago, and I can't find it. But we were running this funnel to get people's name, email address, and phone number in. And our niche was guys, only guys, like mostly like dads, who wanted to get back in shape, back to when they were playing footy. They've let themselves go a bit. And our business was called Man of Steel Coaching, and we were running this webinar, advertising this webinar, name, email, phone number, and literally I used this program called SMS Broadcast, and we didn't do any email marketing, and we would just like blast them with like casual, like blokey texts all throughout the week before the webinar, like just like building it up. And we get people on the webinar, and like usually once a week we get like maybe 14 people on the webinar. You know, not super crazy numbers, but actually on the webinar, I was using GoToWebinar, and you can see the chat box, and we'd be like, all right, boys, we're all here, like, let's do this, you know, and getting everyone pumped, and all the boys like, yeah, I'm pumped, I'm fat as, yeah, I'm sick of this. Yeah, and another guy's like, yeah, I'm from Perth, and I'm fat shit as well. It's like, let's do this. And like, we got them so amped on the webinar, because it's just so much energy, and we were just like blasting them with our before and afters, because like, even back then you couldn't use before and afters in your marketing, and like just every page was just like before and after, like just showing them our results. And then by the end of the call, like we had the call to action of like, you know, join our program. It's $97 a week, you know, purely online. So it was pretty expensive. We didn't realize it was expensive. We just like thought that was a good price. And yeah, and we just said to get started, like first week you just deposit $97. You know, the only way we can accept cards is over the phone. So literally, if you want in, just like leave your number, and like all 12 guys would leave their phone number. And then I would literally just, all right, I'm jumping off the webinar, guys, I'm gonna call you one by one. And so I just turn the webinar off and call them one by one and be like, hey dude, all right, did you enjoy the webinar? He's like, yeah, I loved it. All right, let's do this. Give me a credit card. You know, we get the first week going. And it worked so good. Just because it was so different, right? Guys just didn't have anything like this. And I'm pretty sure people, I don't know, in the online space, online personal training is like a massive thing now. And yeah, but I still don't really see people doing that kind of stuff. So thinking outside the box, you know, we used to just do the name, email, application, Woofu form, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. But then for some reason I decided to try webinars, and it worked really well. And so we've used webinars in like heaps of different niches since then. But I recommend like experimenting with it, because yeah, even if you've only got a handful of people on, it can be pretty cool. And if you're in the online space, like it's been proven to work for online. Yeah. You know, I remember doing it, so yeah, it's good.
Yeah, my name's Aaron.
Aaron.
We've got a couple of gyms down in the northern suburbs.
Yep.
Pretty close to each other. We do like strength training, CrossFit, and high intensity training.
Cool.
So it's run about 75 sessions a week.
Yeah, nice.
Pretty crazy. But yeah, we do some seminars, but mainly just to give value back to our members.
Cool.
Trying to sell anything.
Yep.
It's just value to our members, and they appreciate it. And generally, it's pretty good numbers.
Yep.
We've got one running next month on one of my coaches actually just written a book, which is really cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, mindset and
cool.
Meditation and, you know, mindfulness and all that sort of stuff. So I said, boom, take the reins, you do it, mate. So and he's really good like that. So I'd like to have sort of those people on board. And
yeah.
Generally, I do handball these seminars to my coaches, so it gives them an opportunity to get their name out there. And
yep.
Less rely on me. I'm like all for, you know, you guys are on the show. I'd rather take a step back. Been running it for too long, so yeah, but it's been really good for our members, more so to give value to our members. Cool. So we do like training workshops, technique workshops. We've done like a big motivation one. We did like mental health, nutrition, a bit of everything.
Yeah, nice. Is anything like? Do you want to do webinars? Like, is it?
I've never. We've done like Facebook Live is sort of a webinar.
Yeah, that's right.
I've built up to it. Said, we're going live on this day. And,
yep.
That got a bit of traction. I think that up to like a few hundred people watching.
Yeah.
So it was pretty good.
Members, not members.
Yeah, members,
cool.
not members. But I haven't done that for a little while.
Yep.
Just haven't really spent the time doing it.
Yeah, cool.
Because I haven't really had that opportunity.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, keeping busy. And I think that's the most important thing as well, is Trav, Liv and I, we recognise that, you know, Trav and I were talking about this morning, like the boring stuff gets results. As you guys know, like the reason why you guys are in the 1% and the rest of the people aren't is because you guys are doing the boring stuff over and over again and replicating it and just scaling it. And look at RBT as an example as well. Like they're just doing the same thing over and over again, like systemizing it, making sure they've got the right staff, right, making sure they've got the right culture, and being able to replicate that boring stuff over again. So I don't want you guys to get distracted by the shiny objects. Like Aaron, it sounds like you're going really good. I don't want you to drop everything and start doing webinars. You know what I mean? But same thing. I mean, like, who here wouldn't want to learn how to like manufacture, design, and create like a persuasive bit of content? Like, we all want that, right? Because like that's the secret to marketing. So,
Well, to expand outside your sort of area,
Yeah.
to online programming, I guess you need to be doing webinars.
correct. Like, so Trav's going to be doing online stuff later this Arvo. And yeah, online stuff works perfect for webinars. But even like offline, like getting people to a live seminar when they don't know anything about you can be difficult, right? But then running a webinar to everybody in Geelong, even if you only get 10 or 12 people on, but if you've got that energy up, you know, that can be a really persuasive thing to get people at least interested and across the line, you know, to get people going, you know what, this sounds pretty good, I'm going to come down, check it out, you know. So, and giving value to your marketplace, right? Like, we're all here to help our clients. So giving a webinar and like creating clarity and creating hope in people is sometimes like life-changing, you know, especially in health and fitness when people struggle so much with personal belief and you know, what's holding them back. So even just doing that as webinars as a way to serve your local community, regardless of whether they sign up now, they might sign up in a year's time, they might sign up in 2 years' time, you don't know. But
yeah, which was funny you actually mentioned that, because I had a guy who's he comes to he's like comes to the seminars and all that, and he's like, he was a member of the gym years and years ago.
Yep.
But stopped, and he's only just signed up again over the weekend.
awesome.
But he's always come to our events.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, so
You've always got that foot in the door.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Hi.
Hey.
I'm Belinda.
Hi, Belinda.
I run a women's transformation centre, fitness,
Mhm.
functional training type thing. And I've just moved into state, so this will be perfect. And I was watching one of Trav's old webinar things that, like, I literally paused it like a million times, and I was like, yep, I want to do webinars, and I
Yeah.
want to start selling more through seminars.
Cool.
I like speaking and I like selling, so
Perfect.
these two will be brilliant. And just having some like structure on how and what to give
Yep.
to get them to sign up, because I want to start a new program next year.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. So I've literally written out a template for you guys. So it's like a bare bones template. I'm going to go through it. You can add stuff in between that template, like it's a bare bones template, which I tell you what to say on each slide, and you can add stuff in to give value and add content in to give value, but as long as you're following this structure that I'll go through, yeah, you'll be fine. You'll get sales.
Yeah.
And you'll get people wanting your shit, which is good.
And also like kind of putting in strategy for next year, going, okay, this is what we're doing.
Yep.
When I'm doing a seminar, this is when I'm doing.
Yep. And you can do automated webinars as well,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
So my husband's been saying to me for ages, Belinda, you gotta do webinars. You know, like, just,
No excuses now.
Don't listen to her husband, listen to her random.
I reckon a homeless person would tell you to do something you do it over me. I'll go home tonight and go, hey, I reckon we should do webinars.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, cool. Cool.
I'm Amanda. I've got a female-specific training facility.
Yep.
Webinars, I think I did them years ago, and I kind of like talking about them now. I'm like, are they still a thing? So, yeah.
If anything, they're better now because people
Yeah.
don't lose their shit around how confusing it is. Like, it used to be just like so confusing. Yeah, that's right. Whereas now it's like, it's just the user experience is much easier. Most people are familiar with live streaming now in some way, shape or form, like Facebook Live or anything. So it's not so foreign to them. So yeah, definitely working now. So you're selling just packages at your actual location?
Yeah, and I would explore online.
Mhm.
I was thinking about maybe branching and doing some live streaming about classes,
Mhm,
that are more body weight that people could do
At home. Yep.
at home, and then adding on other elements to that.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of, yeah, that's another beast altogether, and it's just like, yeah, I
Yep.
would explore that next year.
Yeah, cool.
Trevor used to do heaps of webinars, I remember. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Even my last
Yeah.
doing one tonight. Yeah.
I will-
It's 2 different times.
Yeah.
In the UK market now as well, so 8:30 PM is like, what is that, 9:30, 10:30 AM for them. So, 7:30 for them. So it's making sure we hit multiple time zones to make sure we do our market coverage.
Mm.
You're not going to sleep anymore?
I gave
You
him,
know that, come on.
gave him a bit of a whipping. I'm like, mate, it's time to do some webinars again. He's like, all right. But if you've been on a trap webinar, it's like, I can't believe the speakers like don't blow up. Like he's just yelling
I was
into
like,
the computer.
Guys, we need strategy goals. If I don't get 15 strategy goals tonight, I'm not going to get laid. And the guys are like, okay. I'm like,
People
"Boys."
are actually commenting like, good luck. sir."
Yeah.
I've registered.
Do it for Trav.
I was like, do what you got to do.
When I came, she's like, I'm tired.
You got 14.
You like literally count them.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Yeah. It's like, I need
The
one
fake
more.
that one.
All right, so I'm just going to show you a literal example of an ad account that I'm currently using. This is so, how do I have to look at this? So this is me and my business partner. We run a digital agency. And so we're running a massage program right now. So for massage therapists, and it's a webinar. So this is an example of like an ad that's been working really well. I think, as you can see in the corner down here, like you can see, you know, we're getting leads between $1 and $8, $3, $18 down there. That was only one lead though, so thank God. But you know, obviously working really well. And you can see that the types of ads that we've got are these slideshow ads, which is a little bit different, but I really like them lately because they don't look like an in-your-face ad. Yeah. So obviously with marketing, always be testing, like always be testing different things. But a normal ad would look like a little box, you know, with a picture, and then like a banner down here with a headline, right? Which is like, learn more, click here, blah, blah, blah. Now what happens with these slideshow ads is it's like an on-repeat slideshow of just like little pictures, right? And on your news feed, it just like repeats over and over and over and over again, like doesn't stop. And what this does, which is really cool, if you do it properly, like you only have 5 photos in a row, when people are scrolling their newsfeed and they start reading your ad, and the ad replays this video over and over again, Facebook registers that watch rate, like how many people watch your video. And so if someone watches your video and they're reading the text whilst it's replaying and it plays 3 times, you have a 300% watch rate on your video. Now compare that to, like, I don't know if you guys have run video ads before, but you know, sometimes you can get like a 2% watch rate or a 4% watch rate. Like, so to get a 300% watch rate, Facebook goes, holy shit, this ad is really good. People are engaging with it. And that's the algorithm, right? Facebook have told us over and over and over again that as advertisers, we will reward you advertisers, that enhance the user experience of Facebook. Like they've said that over and over again. We will punish you if you don't enhance the user experience. So when people see your ads and go, oh, this is shit, and then they put their phone down and they stop scrolling the newsfeed, Facebook knows that. And they go, your ads stopped someone from consuming our product. Therefore, we're going to ramp up the cost per click. And therefore, the cost per click's really high, your cost per lead gets high. Okay, so that's how Facebook ads work. All right, so by enhancing the user experience and us gaming the system a little bit, like trying to show Facebook, oh look, people love our ads because they're consuming it 3 times in a row, 300%. Facebook go, oh, that's pretty good. All right, well, here's some cheaper clicks. Obviously, you get cheaper clicks. Landing page converts pretty similar to one that gets expensive clicks, but your cost per lead's 10 times less because your cost per click's 10 times less. So have fun with this. Like literally, like I don't show this ad to anyone because I don't like people copying it. I know people copy it eventually, like just like every other ad that we've ever written. But the longer you can keep it from people copying it and seeing these ads everywhere, the better. But yeah, have a look at it, and it's just very simple. Just get some images here, and I'll show you the full ad text as well. Maybe I'll post in the group for you guys as well, so you can see it. But the copy up here is just literally a curiosity-inducing story. And the reason why we do that again is that we're trying to game the system. We're trying to get Facebook to recognize that people are clicking our ad, because if they're clicking it, they're consuming it. Facebook are happy. Facebook go, here, have some cheap clicks. So I remember like it was yesterday, the life-altering day in June when a single Facebook ad unexpectedly brought in 33 new bookings for my struggling massage salon, which meant I could finally stop more. It's like, finally stop what? Hang on. Life-altering day. Hang on, what's going on? This is all subconscious psychology that's happening when someone's consuming our ad. They'll click more. Our click-through rate will go up. Therefore, if we've got a high click-through rate, our cost per click will go down. So
how many words, like, how many words?
up here, it always changes, and it changes on paragraphs and everything, but when you're creating your ad, you get a preview of it. So I just make sure that when I'm writing out my ad, I'm trying to make sure that I say something just controversial or just interesting before we call this the fold, above the fold. Okay, so they click more, and then that releases the rest of the ad. So you guys got to test it. Every industry is different. I think the reason why this works so well in this industry is because it's like a business ad, right? And so business owners are used to seeing the same shit over and over and over and over again around how they can grow their business. You know, it's infuriating, right? And when we see an ad like this, it's so different that's what changes it up. With fitness stuff, like obviously people do see a lot of fitness ads, but in testing, sometimes just the click here to get this 28-day challenge ad works better. You got to test it. You can't just throw the baby out with the bathwater and just go, yeah, all right, we're doing this because that's what Liam did. You got to run it. You got to split test. And Facebook's amazing that we can split test this stuff now. So no excuses for trying things out. And making sure that you're getting the right ad going. So if I show you the whole post, I guess, see how long it is? It's actually really long form. You don't have to read it all, but what I want you to understand is they have no way of getting to my landing page on the ad here. There's only 2 spots they can click, the play button and the more button. So it's like, how do I get them to my landing page? How do I get them to register for my webinar? They don't even know that I'm running a webinar at this stage, right? I'm just sucking them in from the story. When we get to the actual copy, this whole copy is designed to increase desire, manufacture desire for the webinar. So if you're in the same situation I was a few months ago, not having as many bookings if you like, I would like to extend an opportunity to help. I'm putting on a free workshop. And here's the bit.ly link. All right. I wonder if this link's going to work because I've turned this ad off because we're running in a different location. It should work there. Here we go. So, it's on our old ClickFunnels account. So this goes straight to the webinar registration page. Now, most of our traffic is from mobile, as will yours. So this is what it looks like on mobile. And I've tested so many webinar landing pages, and man, this one converts by far the best. If I can, I should have got the screenshot for you. But this particular ad, our landing page was converting at about 81%. So that means that, 81% of the people that visit our landing page opted in, which is incredible. Like, I've been around for a long time, like that's like non-existent, right?
Do you think it's because of the copy that you pre-qualified them with?
It's because they can't click to the landing page to register for the webinar until they know exactly what it's about. And so by the time they click it, they've been pre-framed, they're like, yep, give this to me. Takes them to this landing page, and it is super simple. Free webinar, how to use Facebook to get 5% massage appointments a day. Click here to attend. Nothing else, right? They've been pre-framed, we don't need to explain everything else, it's just boom. What's hilarious about this is me and my business partner had like this big argument because down here, below the fold, is we've got some testimonials and then some like long form copy, and then there's Kurt's face, and all this sort of stuff here. Now, he cracked it because on this page, there was like an error with ClickFunnels. Like when we made it, we accidentally like duplicated like this headline, and that headline said that 3 times in a row. And then there was like some spelling mistakes through here and like all this sort of stuff. And Kurt's like, gotta fix this, mate. Like, what's going on? Like, it'll affect landing page conversion. And I was like, well, I don't know if I believe that, because I don't believe anyone scrolls down because I don't scroll down. I just click it and opt in. So we split tested it, fixed up the landing page, get all the spelling mistakes, got rid of all the duplicate headline that said, attend this free online class, attend this free online class, attend this free online. And this version of it converted worse than the version with all the spelling mistakes and all the errors on it. And that's kind of proved my hypothesis that what's below the fold matters way less than what's above the fold. Yeah? What's the first thing they see? Because you see, like, the way people use their phones and swipe Facebook and Instagram, like, it's lightning fast. Like, if you just sit on a train and you're watching some young girl, like, on her Instagram or Facebook, like, it's just like consume left, right, back, left, zoom, back, left. Like, it's crazy how efficient people are at, like, scrolling social media. So people don't, like, click onto a page and go, oh, okay, what's this? All right, yep. All right, I'll read that, and then I'll scroll down. Oh, this is good. Like, I just don't even think people, like, read that. I think they just skim it and go, oh, okay, 12 new clients booked, cool. Like, there's no way they sit there and go, okay, hey guys, where is everyone at with their ads? Can you hear, you know? And I think that's an important lesson to know, like, that the way consumer behavior works, the way that we're consuming social media, is you've got to have that attention straight away and get that going. So that's the funnel. Now for me to show you the actual webinar.
What's percentage attendance like?
I'll go through that as well. It's not great, but you just deal with it because it still works out to be profitable. Just in time webinars, which is like a pre-recorded webinar, so people can opt in and they immediately get taken to the webinar, the attendance is way better, right?
Yeah.
Because they're just like, oh, instant gratification. But the problem is conversion on those just in time.
Interaction.
Yeah, that's right. And like people go, oh yeah, I want to consume this right now, I'm ready. And then they're watching it and they're like, oh shit, I have to go in 10 minutes, all right, I'm gonna get out of it. So less people stay towards the end. Whereas if people know it's happening Monday night, they've booked in, they've blocked it out, and they know they're ready for it. I mean, I can't figure out how to get to... oh, here we go. My keynote. Good old technology. There we go. All right. So this is my bare bones template that I've written for you guys. And so I'll literally send this to you guys. You can put your own branding on there and you can copy it. But I'll basically go through exactly what each point is to cover and why we have it. So the first is the title, obviously. The next most important thing straight away, you have to have your hook. This hook is everything. So this is where, like, the big fuck off promise that you're saying to people, this is what you're going to get if you attend this webinar. It can't be just like, oh, this webinar is going to be on like macros, or this webinar is going to be on lifting. If you're trying to sell a product, that's not going to be good enough to have to get people excited about staying on the webinar the whole time. So having a hook, and this is where you got to use your best clickbaity stuff, you know, like in the step-by-step system to melting 4 kilos of fat in 28 days with less than 30 minutes of exercise a day or whatever. Like, it's your webinar. You don't have Facebook telling you what you can and can't say, you know, so you might as well use hooks that have been proven to work, right? And it's a classic, you know, we're selling them on what they want and then giving them what they need. So like,
That's like the first, like you say, that's what we're going over.
yeah, that's what we're going to cover. And people are like, sweet, this is going to be awesome. Straight away after you've done the hook, you've got to just confirm for them that they're in the right place. Because that's the other thing is like, they'll be like, okay, the hook's pretty good, but like, is this webinar going to be for me? This is where you just got to tell them straight out. This webinar is for you if you're a woman aged between 30 and 48 years old. You know, you've had a couple of kids and you're just not as in shape as you wanted to be. But you just got to repeat all that stuff that we know they're thinking, just to reassure them that they are in the right place, right? because if you can describe their situation as good as they can or better than them, they're going to trust you. They're going to go, holy shit, this webinar is like just for me. Like they're literally saying everything that I'm struggling with. So I've given you some examples, but try to use behaviors, thoughts, and emotions. So a behavior is like if you've been doing X, Y, and Z with no success. If you've been, I guess rugby, you've been doing weight training and you're still not increasing your speed, or common things that they've been doing. That's a behavior. A thought, if you're thinking that there must be a better way, like if you're thinking maybe, you just never will get back to your size 8 dress or whatever that you used to wear. Whatever the common, you guys know your market better than I do. So whatever kind of deep thoughts psychologically that they're thinking and having doubts about, bring them up to the surface and go, maybe you're thinking this, maybe this is what you've been struggling with. And I'll be like, yes, that's exactly what I'm thinking. And that's why our webinars with the Man of Steel guys work so well, because we literally did I don't know, it'd be in the hundreds of sales calls, like 400, 500, 600 sales calls, all an hour and a half. So after a year of doing sales calls like that, me and my brother, we knew exactly what the guy was going to say at every single question. It was always a variation of the same. And so on the webinar, when we just copied those exact words that they used, people, they're just commenting in the chat box, oh my God, yes, that is exactly right. Yeah, I agree completely. And they're so happy that they found someone who gets it and who understands them. And that's the difference, I guess, between communicating that and communicating get a flat stomach program, because there's lots of them. Yeah, but when you're actually talking about and reassuring them that you get them, then you've got their attention. And then that's how you manufacture desire and you can sell them. The emotions, if you're fed up with all the gurus telling you X, if you're fed up with all these fad diets that promise the world and then you struggle with. I've also noted here, this is a really good place to just quickly put in your best testimonial or a couple of cool screenshots just to prove that you're legit, just to prove that you know what you're talking about. Oh yeah, by the way, you're in the right place if you want to look like this, and you just couple of awesome screenshots. But you don't want to spend too much time on that. So the next question is, well, why am I doing this? So they're here, they know it's for them, and this is a really cool way for you to position yourself as different. So I love the terminology of us versus them. It's commonly known psychological trait that we trust those who are on our side, and we're skeptical of those who we don't relate to. So if you're a fitness trainer and you're up there and you're positioning yourself as an expert, as a doctor or whatever, and they're just the normal person, you have the advantage of being an expert and they can respect that, but that's not as powerful as positioning yourself on their side, which is why you see so many successful ads are like rags to riches stories. And the reason why they work so well is because it works for the people that are currently in the rags. They're like, wow, he was like me where I am, and now look at him. Now look how awesome he is. That's so much more powerful and convincing than I was always rich, but I'm a doctor in getting rich, and so you can listen to me because I'm an expert. It still does work a little bit, but nowhere near as well as us versus them. So you got to think about how can you position yourself to be on their side, be relatable to them, and not just I'm the complete opposite to you and I can overtake you. You should just listen to me anyway. Again, a massive mistake people make is talking too much about themselves, but you can just briefly talk about who you are and what you've been able to achieve for others. Don't talk about your success. Jenny, I don't know whether you've played national level rugby or whatever, that's cool, but really they don't give a shit. They just want to know that you can help them improve, right? So the last thing I would do is talk about all the medals and stuff that you've won. I would talk about what you've been able to do for your clients and guys that have gone through your programs, right? Polarizing values, really awesome one. Another great psychological hack, but you've probably heard this before, but if you're trying to be a hero to everybody, you're not going to attract anyone. But if you can be polarizing and you can just be you and you stand strong for what you believe in, you're going to piss off a lot of people. But the people that align with your values are going to love you. And I think that's Travis, right? Like he hasn't done this on purpose. It's just him, right? But people fucking hate Travis because like of who he is and how outrageous he is. But for us in here, we really align with his values as a person, and therefore we love him. We love him. We trust him. Yeah, and him trying to just appeal to everyone, maybe wearing a suit, you know, just trying to be a business like mentor for everybody, no matter who you are, like that would never work because it takes away from who he is, and therefore all of us would be sitting there going, what is going on? Like with TJ, this is not the TJ we love. So you can use that as well.
Examples of this, like what you're going through, like
Yep.
you have like an example of like rather than just saying if you have it all written down, like examples of it. Or
I can send you, one of my webinars if you want.
So like, would something be like, we hate dairy because it's disgusting? You know, I don't know, something like, you know, if you're talking...
So us versus them, it's like,
Yeah, us versus them.
I would be against all the Instagram models out there who are telling you that you can get a bikini body with their program when they were born naturally thin.
So that's polarising.
actually, speaking of this, one of my mates did one against F45.
Yeah.
And he got. I was thinking of going there, but I didn't.
Yeah.
He did.
Yep.
And he ended up getting like in this Instagram story. He
Yeah.
ended up getting like 2,000 followers in a day.
Wow.
Ended up like just.
That's it.
Smashed it.
Because it's polarizing, right?
Yeah.
So obviously he would have got a lot of hate, you know.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he never would have got all those followers and went, oh my god, this guy's legit,
Yeah.
because he stood up for what he believed in,
Yeah.
right? And so that's what it's all about. And again, you don't have to use this in the webinar. You should be using this in all of your marketing, in your Facebook live streams, in your posts.
So how polarising do you get?
The more polarizing you get, the more haters you'll get,
Yeah.
and the more unbelievable fans you'll have.
Yeah.
You know, and so it depends what you're selling. I guess if you're, I don't know where your location is, but like for your gym, but
It's like the eastern suburbs. So
yeah,
if I was too polarising.
if you pissed off everybody in Ringwood,
Yeah,
that's
that's
probably
the
not
thing.
great for your
Yeah.
gym.
No, that's...
You know.
So it's actually funny because I was sick. I got sick last year, and I said that I was going to do something alternative, and literally people quit the gym
Yeah. Wow.
because it was really confronting.
Yeah.
And cool.
But
So I've learned how to be less polar.
Yeah.
I probably learned how to do my life that little bit with those things. So I think,
What did you say?
I just said I wasn't going to do regular treatments.
Mm.
And they were like, oh, I can't believe. But I got like 20,000 views on my video.
That's right.
So I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah. So yeah,
interesting
people
to
who
do
align
that.
with your values will love it, and the people that
Yeah.
it clashes with will hate it.
I think you got to be strategic.
Yeah, but I think it would just be you as well, what comes naturally. So, like for me, how I've always done it personally is I hate consulting for clients that are really proper and organised and care about all the random shit besides results. Because I'm very casual, like I'm from the Sunshine Coast, like all I care about is getting results. I don't care about how it's done or how organised I am or whether there's spelling mistakes in. Because I remember one of my first ever clients, like my big consulting client, it's like one of the biggest deals I had as a new consultant when I was getting into this. And I remember like trying to sign them up. I was sending them all these professional proposals and proving all the results that I'd gotten for other businesses in their niche. And finally got the deal done, sold them. And it was the worst experience of my life. Like I've never been so stressed and lost so much sleep because the way I'd operate and the way, because copywriting and marketing and psychology is very creative. Like, you know, I have to work sometimes late nights to like just try and come up with a new angle, a new idea. And they didn't like that. They wanted me like at their meetings, like every second day, making sure like I get regular updates on what the campaigns are doing. So I remember I started putting out test campaigns, like because I wanted to see like what would get good video views that we could retarget with. And I just didn't talk to them about the video. I thought like, oh, I'll put something together, they won't mind. And they absolutely lost it because it wasn't on their brand exactly how they needed it to be. And just little things like that, like it was an absolute nightmare. And they, at the end of the day, I realized they didn't really care about what I was doing. They didn't want it to be done their way. And so now what I do every single ad that I put out there, I purposely put spelling mistakes in. I purposely put poor grammar in. Like, not like to the point where it's unreadable, but to the point where grammar Nazis and spelling Nazis will pick it up and immediately go, fuck this guy, there's no way I'm working with him. And I get comments on that all the time. Like, oh, you're meant to be a copywriting expert and you have spelling mistakes in your ad, there's no way I'm working with you. And that's brilliant, because there's no way I'd want to work with that kind of client. And the type of clients that I do get love my laid-back nature, and we work really well together. And it's really, really enjoyable. We sent out an email for Trav the other day, and it was like, hey mate, blah, blah, blah. And he got like a couple of messages back to you, like, do you just call everyone mate? That's sexist. And it's like, well,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Oh, I got that as well.
I'm sorry about that.
What was that?
Yeah, that's a 9-word email. Have you guys heard about a 9-word email?
I was watching a video on it. Was that you that was teaching it?
Maybe it was, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I got it.
I sent back because I was like, what am I
Hey,
gonna
mate,
what
I'm
they
already
were
growing my
saying.
fitness business.
Yeah, that's what and I said, yeah, I'm still interested. I just want to see what will come back. Not no response.
100% use it. If you guys have an email list and you want to like get some quick cash and quick reactivations, send that email out to everyone in your list. Just say, hey, first name, or just hey. Are you still interested in improving your health and fitness? ? Nothing else. It's called a 9-word email because it's 9 words. Put heaps of enters all the way down so you don't see the sent by Infusionsoft or sent by the autoresponder, so it looks like a personal. What I used to do back in the day is I used to sign it off with sent from my iPhone, because remember when you send an email from your iPhone, the signature used to be that before we all got fancy with our email signatures, and so it looked like a legit one-on-one email.
Do you still do that?
Well, people,
Oh, no,
you
they
could, but it
say
doesn't.
that-
Yeah, it doesn't work as well. But yeah, like back to my story, like there's no way that person would be a good client for Trav, right? Someone who arcs up about being called mate, like that's a disaster. And so it's cool that we can use that to polarize people.
Yeah, that's cool.
What's that?
Did he get any traction?
Oh, shitloads. Like
Like swear.
hundreds of emails back. So yeah, works so well, guys. And it depends on how big your email list is. But you can use it for your phone numbers as well. So if you've run 28-day challenges and had name, email, phone number, you've got a database of phone numbers there that you can send. Just go onto Google and just type in like mass send text messages and do the same thing. Text them and go, hey, it's Brennan. Just wondering if you're still interested in improving your health and fitness. You might get some hate back. Why the fuck are you texting me? But then you'll get like a dozen people who go like, oh my God, you've messaged at the right time. It happens every time, doesn't it, Trav? Like they reply like, you never guess. I was just thinking this today that I needed to get back into it. And like it happens every time. And you go, sweet, all right, well, why don't you come in? It's a really, really simple way to.
Also get much to say, fuck off.
Yeah, that's right. We're talking about polarizing and like standing up for your own values and purposely repulsing the kind of clients that you don't want to. So, all right, so we've done all that. Now we're just like, okay, why do so many fail? Like, why are there so many people that try and do diets and do health and fitness programs, and maybe it works for a little bit, but then they drop off? Like, why does this happen? Here's the time to blame it on something specific, something that you have the solution to. Probably the most important point of this whole webinar, because the idea, are you guys familiar with like the gap in selling, like lengthening the gap? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Because I can explain it quickly. So everybody in your market, which left side, is here. They're currently in this world existing where they're not where they want to be. They want to be in the promised land. They want to have the body of their dreams. They want to, like, for whatever reason why, they want to have a good body. They want their husband to look at them differently like he used to, or they want to like piss off their sister-in-law because she's always been skinny and like be skinnier than her. Whatever the promised land is, that's what people have. They have goals, dreams, desires, hopes. When we're over here struggling, what's between here and the promised land is what's called the gap. Now, everyone has a little bit of an idea, but most of the time it's very little around what it takes to get from here to there. Some people think it's a lemon detox diet. And it's like, oh, that's what I need to do. The lemon detox diet will get me from here to there. I'll get skinny or whatever it is. But the point is, here in your webinar is where you get to manufacture the gap, and you get to create the gap and therefore create desire for your solution to cross the gap. So it's here you really need to blame it on something specific, because you need to give them clarity around what's holding them back. So if they've tried health and fitness programs in the past and they've always dropped off, I guess that's a pretty common thing, is, do you think, or why they fail? You know, they try it for a bit and then they just like, life gets in the way or something. Like if I had an online program which was like a, you know, like a video series where they can do like 30 minutes a day, I would say, well, the reason why you failed is because you're trying to do workouts that just take too long. And the reality is that you're a mum, you've got kids, and you can't find an hour and a half plus 15 minutes to there and back from the gym each day or every second day to get the results you want. You know that you need to exercise, but literally it's the time that's holding you back. This is an example. You guys can do anything. So what I've got is a solution, a method, an exercise program that doesn't take too much time. It only takes 30 minutes a day. And this unique exercise program works so well, especially for females, because it gets into their hormones or whatever. Like, do you understand where I'm going with this? Like, creating something really specific around what is holding them back and then creating a specific solution around that, that is what creates desire for your thing. Because once you do this, once you articulate what's holding them back and then articulate a solution for them, all of a sudden, you're different to everybody else. All of a sudden, you're different to every single Instagram influencer they've seen, every single bikini body challenge, every single 28-day challenge, because you've articulated something really specific around what's holding them back. They've gone, holy crap, that is what's holding me back. Holy crap, he's got a specific solution to the thing that's been holding me back. Yeah? And it's literally like my secret weapon. I think some of you guys I've talked about Inception, like the movie Inception, where they go inside people's heads into their dreams and then plant a seed to get them to believe something. And so when they wake up from that dream, they act a certain way. This is literally like Inception marketing. So we're planting seeds on purpose. We're planting ideas in people's heads so that they naturally conclude something that we want them to conclude. So if we plant the idea in their head that the reason why they haven't succeeded with their fitness is because they lack time, they're naturally going to conclude, oh, if only I could find a program that took less time. Oh, by the way, let me tell you about my program that doesn't take much time at all. Literally works. And so when we were selling our Men of Steel program, the example that I used is, you know, professional athletes like Michael Phelps famously eats a whole king-size packet of cornflakes every morning for breakfast. You know, showed the massive packet of cornflakes, showed his body. We're like, how is he able to do that? And you just look at a milkshake and put on 5 kilos. You know, and like did all this correlation between stuff. What we were doing is we were blaming their lack of results on something. And we were saying the reason why you struggle to get results is because they're all training like athletes and you're not. So if you want to look like an athlete, you need to train like an athlete. And then what do you think they say? It's like, oh my God, yes, that's exactly what I need. I need like some kind of program that trains me like an athlete. Well, we've got our Man of Steel program that has been based upon athletic performance and trains you exactly like an athlete. And they go, oh yes, this is exactly what I need. They didn't know they needed that 10 minutes ago, but now they do, right? And that's how you create desire, and that's how you create, a want for what you've got. So.
Then do a dating service, like the Man of Steel could date the Queen of Lean.
That's right. Yeah, just link it all up. So we don't have to go too much into the actual methods right there, but it's more like a promise. Like it's we're revealing the secret that we have got, and we're going to reveal the details later. Okay, because this is still pretty early on in the webinar, but I'm running out of time, so I'm just trying to get through it.
Did you say you're sending us these slides?
Yep. And I'll send you an example of a webinar I've run following. Is this a recording? I'm pretty sure. Chris is nodding his head. So we're still at the start of the webinar. We're still trying to convince people. I think we're doing a pretty good job of convincing them that their attention is warranted here, because that's the whole point. Like, if they don't stay till the end, they're not going to hear the pitch, and therefore they're not going to convert. So a lot of this is just trying to convince them just to listen to us, yeah, and get them excited. So stay till the end incentive. If you stay till the end, frame the hook. This will seriously change your life. It's never been offered before. That's an example. You can give them a bonus thing, like Brent and I were talking about protein powder as a bonus. Like, you can say, if you stay to the end, you know, everyone who stays to the end will get a bonus bag of $50 protein powder. Like, that's just an example. I'm not saying do that, because that could be pretty costly. But if you can give away some kind of ebook or something for free, or some kind of instant gratification thing, that'll make people go, oh, you know what, I'll stay to the end. Even if I don't get anything out of this webinar, I'll go and do it.
And then you can get their details and then send it to them.
Correct. The 3 coolest words in marketing: so you can. There's one thing to be like, oh, we've got a, what's a common terminology in fitness that we use is like, you know, step-by-step meal plans. That's a common thing that we give away in our ads, right? It's one thing to say that, but then it's another thing to say, so you can put together quick and delicious meals for you and your family that don't take too long and you know are good for you. Yeah? It's just taking that articulation to the next step. Instead of just saying, never assume that your market knows what you're talking about. Just say, oh, simple meal plans. Simple meal plans what? Simple meal plans so you can get this tangible thing. This exact thing will happen in your life. Get people imagining them at home, opening up the ebook or whatever, the simple recipe plan, and then cooking a really simple recipe in 5 minutes, you know, and the kids are loving it. That's the sort of stuff that makes them, again, have desire. Because when they start imagining it in their head, exactly how it's going to play out, then it's like, yeah, I can see this happening. I can see this working. That's so much more powerful than just going, simple plans ebook. Yeah? Massive, massive difference. So on this slide, we want to talk about your method and process, your unique mechanism that makes your program different. So if the Man of Steel program was all about athletic training, you know, for rugby, you might have a unique mechanism that increases speed or increases power, or but you got to call it something. You got to make sure you have that unique mechanism, because if you don't, you're just another rugby coach, right? So having that unique mechanism, and then link it to their current tangible fears and frustrations. Again, so tangible, like describing what actually is going on in their life right now. So, you know, when you had that high school reunion, you thought you're going to wear that dress, and then the week before you tried it on and it didn't fit. You thought for sure it would fit, and you're just devastated that you let yourself get this way. You know, like that's a pretty devastating articulation of what they're going through. And you don't want to leave them there too long because they'll hate you for it, but then quickly like transition them into the dream result. Number 1, dream result number 2, never have to worry about stress number 1, never have to worry about stress number 2. It's like, imagine being able to go shopping and being excited to try on every single dress in the shop, because knowing that you feel good and everything's going to fit really well and you're not going to look frumpy in anything. Again, you guys know your market better than I do, but trying to create tangible future memories that they're vividly imagining, they'll love it. So, any questions on that page? No. Why is this the best direction for you to take? Explain, again, this is where we go into more detail. Explain why they currently are failing. Bring attention to the main thing they are lacking. That once they get it, it will make their whole life easier. So that's the simple mum workouts or the Men of Steel, the athlete program. Make sure it's explained. Make sure you go into depth. You know, talk about examples. Talk about and prove that there is one main thing from here to there that's holding them back. Okay, it's just so vital that you do that, because if you don't articulate what's holding them back, they're not going to desire your program that helps them get across the gap, right? They need to know what the gap is and where it is in order to desire your stuff. That's just a mistake so many people make because they just like assume their market knows what the gap is. So they're just like, oh yeah, you need this. This is what I've got. But if you haven't articulated that, it doesn't work as well.
Do you want to, like, with that, go in with one main gap?
Yes, as simple as possible.
You don't want to throw a couple in there?
No.
That's too overwhelming?
Yep. You want to overwhelm at the end with bonuses, which I'll go through. But with regards to what you want them to have, it's all about belief, right?
Yeah.
People will join up with you if they believe you can help them.
Time is a pretty safe one to go in.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
You can't really go
You just want to go with whatever the most common one is,
Yeah.
right? Whatever people actually believe, regardless whether they're right or wrong.
Yeah.
You know, because so many people will say, "Yeah, I don't have time." The reality is that's bullshit. But helping them, meeting them where they're at, selling them what they want, and then giving them what they need. Yeah, it's really, really effective. Hence why if you watch all those infomercials on like the shopping channel, like it's classic this sort of stuff, right? Like they're just, it's all about instant gratification. It's all about meeting people where they are and appealing to that buy now process.
Infomercial people have been on there for like 40 years.
That's because it works.
You see the same
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. If you're like me and you're like copywriting psychology nerd, just sit there on a Saturday morning watching infomercials and just taking notes. I just love it. I just find it so fascinating. And they follow a structure that's kind of similar to this. So this structure that I've put together is like a combination of studying just everyone else's structures and testing it myself and seeing how it works. This is a really cool point. Everything that used to work is no longer working. I don't know if that could work for fitness because biology's kind of been around forever, but like in business space, that's really cool because like, oh yeah, Facebook ads aren't working as well, you know, so success you've had in the past isn't guaranteed in the future. That's great. It creates a little bit of fear. And when people are uncomfortable, they'll be desperate to get back in their comfort circle, their comfort zone. So bringing that to attention makes people then want a solution even more. And now that you...
With hormones with that one.
Yeah, that's true, because that's a really good idea, because our diets are different these days to what they were back in the day. So that's
Or even getting older.
well, that's true as well.
And stress.
There you go. You guys are killing it.
We're not down there.
That's right. So you've brought attention to the main things they're lacking that are causing 99% of the problems. Now it's time to reveal how your method process solves it all. Why does this method work? It works because it's different to what else is out there. Again, if you've differentiated yourself, then there's just no comparison. Competition doesn't become a thing anymore. List how it's different, how it works, even if they're in a less than ideal situation. So in business, I talk about no following new niche. You can talk about this works even if you've tried programs before and you hadn't gotten any results. It works even if you've got a shoulder injury and you really struggle lifting weights. Like, you want to take out those objections that people are already having that make them go, but I'm different, because everyone thinks they are. Everyone thinks that they've got excuses around why they haven't got results. And so you're there to reassure them that it will work. But don't lie to them. If they definitely have a reason why it won't work, then don't lie to them. But we know that a lot of people's perceived excuses aren't really holding them back. So it's reassuring them that it doesn't matter if they've got that. So what you need for this to work properly? This is like the content part. So we've taken them on a journey around where they're at. They're getting really clear around what's holding them back. This is where you can release the actual value. And so the content is usually explained in 3 keys. Russell Brunson was the guy who I copied this off with 3 keys, which I actually really like because it's simple. You can expand on it as much as you want, or it can be 3 very simple, quick keys. I've tested both, and it's crazy. Another argument that me and my business partner have had about webinars is like, he's like, where's the value? Like, what value have you provided if we're not giving them any content? Because we've ran webinars with no content, and it converts awesome. And it's because in my head, I'm like, the value is helping them realize where they're at, and then helping them realize what they need to succeed. Like, that's value. They don't need content. They need to learn about macros, and they don't need to learn about like food groups and all that sort of stuff. I think we got stuck in this world of value from like the early internet marketers, which were this common phrase called "move the free line," because back then it worked. It was just like, well, whoever gave the most value won, because everyone else was just trying to sell straight off a Facebook ad. Well, it wasn't even Facebook; it was Google ads. Buy now, straight off this, and then a few of the guys started running ads to content and giving away content for free, and then selling, and it worked like crazy. Like it revolutionized internet marketing. And so this idea of move the free line, this is exactly why you see our industry now and personal training industry, like the reason why everyone does live streams and gives away free content is because of that early internet marketing thing that happened. And I don't believe that that's the way that has to be. Like I try and find ways that work, even if they're different. And you know, I'm lazy by nature. I would rather have one thing working than having to do content every single day, right?
It gives people an opportunity to jump off as well. Like,
Yeah.
attention span is so short.
So this is the argument I had with my business partner, and we looked at the analytics, and literally we lost the most amount of people when we started the content part.
Yeah.
So what you suggest, I've never ran content.
Yep.
Only just through my members.
Yeah,
And I'm like, oh, I've got to do it, I've got to do it, I've got to do it.
I disagree.
Getting heaps of leads without running content.
Exactly.
So no content.
No content.
That's
Yeah. Don't like.
Because that's what we do. We give value to our members and say, okay, this is like exactly what you said.
Yep.
We tell them what they need, like, boom.
Yep.
They're like, no.
Yeah. I mean, don't hold back. Like if people ask for your help, like
Yeah.
you want to help them because you want to help them, right?
Apparently people want the result. They don't really want to
It's the 80-20 rule. You can get 80% of your clients from 20% of your marketing efforts, right? To get that last 20% in your area, that's going to require 80% of your marketing, and that's.
But in saying that as well, like Travis puts up heaps of content.
That's right.
So I sort of followed him for a while from like, all right, this is the man, and then
Yeah.
sort of jumped on board.
But Travis doing both, right?
Yeah.
So he does the ads. That's the 20%. Yeah, and that covers 80% of the leads that RBT gets. And then Trav does a heap of content marketing and branding and magazines and all that sort of stuff. But do they bring in as many leads as ads do? Nowhere near. But he does it anyway because he's a machine. He's a machine. Yeah, that's right. And Trav was trying to get to the 100%. Yeah. Whereas every single gym owner would only need to do the 20%, the ads, and they would get the 80% that they need. Like they don't need to do anything else. Like, you're proof in the pudding, right? Like, because you don't do any of it. And yeah, there's a lot of gym owners that wish they could be doing your numbers, right? And they're doing live streams and they're doing Twitter marketing and they're doing YouTube podcasts and all this sort of stuff. And it's just completely unnecessary.
They're
Not doing the 20% right. Yeah. So
I know a guy who's very, very knowledgeable, and he's constantly putting up so much content, and he's going really, really well.
Yep.
Like he's very successful in his business.
Yep.
But he's just opened up a second location, and he's going to close that down. But the content that he's doing, I don't think is really getting the clients.
Yeah, that's right.
And we're going better.
Yep.
But he's constantly bringing out content. So I just bring out pictures of members having a good time and training. And
Yep.
obviously a bit of results as well. And yeah, but it's interesting to say that.
Write this down. Your clients are like screaming out for someone to just give them a hug and go, it's okay, I know what you're going through and I can fix it. You don't need content to help them get to that level. If you've got an ad that makes them feel like that, then they'll be like, finally, like someone who gets it. Like all this sort of stuff you can implement in your ads and your funnels and your email follow up. Exactly. Again, the reason why content works is because sometimes if it's done right, the content can help them come to the conclusion of this guy will help me, this girl will help me. But you don't have to do that. You don't have to get them to that conclusion through content. You can do it this way, by articulating what they're struggling with and articulating what's really holding them back and then articulating what they probably should do. So the 3 keys is the same theme. So you can do it as content, but I like to do it as re-articulating their problems and re-articulating their objections. So the 3 keys are kind of explaining your step-by-step process. You don't have to do 3. If your step-by-step process is a 5-step system, then I do 5 steps. You don't even have to do keys. But the idea of this is to just lay it out in a really easy to understand way for your potential clients, so that everything's covered. All their objections are covered. Things that may come up along the way that will prevent them are covered. It helps increase desire for your offer, as well as reaffirm for them that it's not a good idea to try and achieve this alone or with someone else. All right? So each slide follows the same kind of structure. This is the key one. Tell a story. What I used to struggle with, what I used to believe, why this is hard way and frustrating and painful. Reaffirm that the old way sucks. And then I came across this key. So we can talk about, like the Man of Steel program, we talked about training like an athlete. I used to struggle with like counting calories, and I used to struggle with all these different diets, and I used to struggle with like trying to go running every second day because my body just hurt so much when I was going running, and it took so long and it was so boring. But then I figured out that, if we train like an athlete, I would naturally train way harder because the competitive spirit would come out of me. All of a sudden I started getting my muscle mass back. Turns out muscle mass is really good for fat loss. And I thought, like, why would I do it any other way? This is clearly way better. It takes way less time and gets me way better results. And so sometimes this will create a new objection in their heads. So people will be listening going, oh, not in their head. And then they're like, oh, wait, but isn't training like an athlete like really, really hard? Like, I don't think I could do it. And so therefore, key number 2 is addressing that new objection that's come up. Okay, so doesn't matter if you've never trained like an athlete, doesn't matter if you're not an athlete, the principles still apply, you just at a different percentage. So training the same program as Michael Phelps is stupid if you can't swim, but what we can do instead is switch that program to the bike and then do it at a 20% level because you're currently at 20% of Michael Phelps. It's still the same program, it's just at a lesser intensity. And then they go, oh yeah, that's sweet. And then we'll create a new objection in their heads like, oh, but what about my diet? Like what will happen there? And then we can tell the next story around, well, yeah, the thing with dieting is once you start training like this hard, you're going to be really, really hungry because you're going to be building lean muscle mass. You're going to be, your body's going to be like starving for calories. And by eating the right foods that suit your particular body type, and this is where we introduce like carb, protein, and fat ratios, your body will actually thrive on the food you eat, and you can just eat as much of it as you want, which is kind of true when you're training like an athlete and really training hard and burning like thousands of calories a day. You can eat as much vegetables, fruit, and stuff as you want, and you're never going to go into calorie surplus. So it's helping them understand that. You don't have to go into what I just said then is for us to know, not for them, because that's confusing. Yeah, it's just, they don't need to know that yet. When they're our clients and we're training them and getting them to understand it, that's when we teach them. At the moment, we're just trying to get them to believe the process, believe the system. Yeah. So we recap the 3 keys just to make sure they understand exactly where they're at, and then we go, well, remember the gift that I promised you at the start, the free giveaway? I promised you, because I did a big ass promise of what I would reveal. We've revealed that. Remember at the very start, like the big clickbait hook. We've revealed that. I also promised you guys an awesome gift as well as a pretty awesome opportunity. Want me to give these to you now? Or have you got any questions about the keys? People will be like, yes, tell us. It's awesome. All right, so if you want to get X, Y, and Z without the ABC, then this offer is specifically for you. This is a great headline that just proven to work all the time. So if you want to get faster off the mark, bigger, better core stability so you can't be tackled, all without doing, crazy Pilates that's boring or whatever your target market doesn't want to do, then this offer is specifically for you. Here's what I've got. I've got this, and this. Remember what I talked about with So You Can? And here's what it will do for you. This. So that's where you get the simple meal plan book, the 4 training sessions a week, the protein powder or whatever it is. And here's what each of those will do for you in a physical, real, tangible sense. Okay, so reaffirming for them exactly what they're going to get. just like my client, this is where we start adding the proof, right? They've currently, at this point, they just love everything about what you're saying. They're like, oh my God, this sounds amazing. Here's where we really slam it down and prove to them that this system works. This client was just like you. Was trying to play rugby, was trying to make his first team, just was struggling. Was trying all these different things, gymnastics and Pilates to, he just was kept falling down in the scrum, whatever, whatever it is, Started using my program, all of a sudden started getting way stronger. All of a sudden he was just breaking tackles like it was nothing. And yeah, it was literally, this was the only thing he was doing was the program. And that just reaffirms to them, oh shit, this program is good. Okay, so insert that best testimonial right there. And this is where we said now we can kind of confuse them. Now we can just really hit them from all angles, because we know people buy based on emotion, not necessarily logic. So we've hit them with logic a lot of the time so far. Like we're trying to get them to understand what's holding them back. Now we just hit them with emotion. As a bonus for those of you who take action now, like here's another thing that I've got, another bonus thing. Here's what this will do for you. Like this bonus thing needs to be something that's like simple, but kind of almost cooler than the actual thing, because the actual thing that you've got is the training, and that's hard work. Everyone knows that. But the bonus can be something like, like something kind of gimmicky, but then also they go in their heads, they're like, that's what I actually need. I don't really need the training. I know that if I just have an accountability coach, like, yeah, that's what'll get me across the line. And so for a bonus, and this is what Brendan and I were talking about this morning, like you were always going to offer the accountability coach. That was always going to be part of the program. But instead of framing it as part of the program, you frame it as a bonus for people who take action now. And that makes it appear super valuable. So we were talking about it this morning with in his ad, he was saying, if you join now, you get a free thing of protein powder. I'm saying take that out of the ad, run the ad, saying this is what you get in the 4-week program. On the thank you page, it goes, awesome, you've applied. Unfortunately, these programs, they're only a 6-week Christmas program. They always fill up. If you want to make sure that you reserve your place, you need to put down a $25 deposit now. If you do put down a $25 deposit now, you get a $50 bag of protein. But it's only for the first 12 people who apply, and obviously those 12 slots go very, very quick. And so that, we're always going to give them the protein powder, because Brendan was already running the ad with the free protein powder. But we've taken it out of the initial offer, because it doesn't matter if it was in the initial offer or not, because people aren't signing up for protein powder. It's just a bonus. And so putting it as a bonus and framing it in that way, $25 deposit, $50 bag of protein, no-brainer, you're doubling your money, right? And the benefit of them reaffirming their spot means that, you're going to have more people honour themselves as a lead. So bonus really important. Testimonial about the specific bonus. Oh yeah, by the way, here's Julie. She started using this protein powder like 2 months ago. No longer gets cravings after dinner at night. Crazy, right? Pretty awesome. People are like, oh my God, I always get cravings after dinner. So a testimonial about that specific bonus works really well. Now think about it. This is if you've got a bonus that is really awesome, better than protein powder, and we talk about like that bonus existing by itself out of the product. Like if you only had an accountability coach and nothing else, you could still be exercising every day. That's better than what you're doing now. Like you don't need a program. If you just had an accountability coach with no meal plans or anything, this would almost still be worth it, wouldn't it? Because you would still be doing it. And they go, yes, that's actually so true. So the value of the program is almost valuable enough just with the bonus. Yeah, and so when you're repeating the bonuses for them, you've probably seen this on webinars, is like bonus number 1, $400 value. Bonus number 2, $700 value. Bonus 3, $900 value. Yeah, stacking the bonuses up, making them look like this program's super valuable. And then you say, just imagine what your life and business would look like a few months after this system. A few more testimonials. And the final call is then to book a call and apply for this opportunity, or buy the product now. This is where you reveal the price, $97. Oh, but I'm giving you $1,000 worth of bonuses. Absolutely no-brainer. You know that this program's for you. You know that it's specifically designed to take you from here where you are to where you want to be. only the first 5 people to act now will get all these bonuses. Again, you're creating real scarcity and real urgency to get people taking action. And then just reaffirm for them, it'll be the best decision you make this year. Like that little sentence actually does make a big difference, because people just want to be reassured that they're making the right decision. So that's it, guys. Done. Any questions? It's a lot to take in. I'll send it to you, but yeah, a lot of psychological marketing lessons that you can apply everywhere else. Yeah, not just in webinars. But keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate your webinar. Don't overcomplicate your funnel. Track it. Oh, this is what I was going to show you as well.
What webinars do you like? What software do you use?
Oh yeah, I use Webinar Jam. Where is it? Numbers?
What about Zoom?
I use Zoom for meetings. I use Webinar Jam for webinars, just because it integrates with ClickFunnels and it just works really well. So just some quick numbers. Do you guys like numbers? I'm a bit of a numbers geek. But if you spend $1,000 on an ad, cost per click's $2, you get 400 visits to your website. Your landing page converts at 5%, so you get 22 people show up. 35%. Oh, sorry, you get 22 register. You get 35% of those 22 show up, and you get 12% of them converting into your product. You earn about $400 from your $1,000 ad spend. Not that great. Now I'm going to show you what matters and this is for all funnels. This isn't just for webinars, but say we've got the same funnel, but we just work on improving the conversion of your actual webinar. So instead of 12% buying, 17% buy, we earn a little bit more. I think it's just rounded up because it's decimals. But if we show you the pre-webinar follow-up, if we improve the show-up rate from 35% to 40%, this should be extra 5%, sorry guys, you'll notice that it actually doesn't change much at all. And so that's why I'm like, show-up rate doesn't really matter, because in this grand scheme of the funnel, that has like the least impact on the bottom line. And it's really important to know that. I mean, you're trying to diagnose your funnel and why it's costing more and you're not making money from it. It's trying to figure out where in the funnel it's breaking down. Show-up rate's an example of something that doesn't matter, because improving your show-up rate from 30 to 40% is very difficult and doesn't make a difference. What is a lot easier to do is to convert your landing page conversion rate. So instead of having a shitty landing page that converts at 5% and getting it up to 35%, all of a sudden you've gone from $400 in sales to nearly $3,000. That's why your landing page and your ad is so much more important than your actual show-up rate and the actual conversion rate on the actual webinar. Yeah, so like I said, like I had a landing page converting at 80%. Like, look at what that does for the bottom line. Like, it's mind-blowing how much of a difference a landing page makes. But remember, the landing page is part of your ad. So a landing page will convert differently depending on what they've read on your ad before they get there. So it's about testing both. But the secret to good ads and good landing pages is simplicity and making sure that you're actually giving something that they really fucking want. Like, really, really want. And so articulating that as best you can will help increase the conversion rate. It'll help decrease the cost per click, as I said, because if we remove this back to what it was, and instead of tweak the landing page, tweak the ad click, so we're getting 45-cent clicks instead of $2 clicks, same thing. We're getting way more conversions. So gaming the system, gaming the Facebook algorithm by experimenting with slideshow ads or different things like that to try and get that cost per click down is equally as effective. Yep, I'll send them all. Cool. That's it. I think we're going to have some break and then back here.